What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. I'm at this interesting crossroads in my life where I have been combing through my past, but this time I'm doing it to inform me about critical actions I'm ready to take towards my future. And in doing so, especially trying to be future focused and trying to build towards something, I am coming across roadblocks, personal limitations in my habits, in my ways of thinking, in my ways of being that are clearly incompatible with the person I'm trying to become. I always imagine myself in the future more put together than I am today. But having to live in reality, I'm not really understanding how I become that person while being this person. This current me isn't going to magically wake up one day and be that refined future version of me. I'm going to have to slow walk this dog there. I'm going to have to wake up each day and incorporate one little thing that future version of me acts as, behaves like, thinks in accordance to, and then that's how I will eventually become that person. It isn't going to happen any other way. I think many of us do this. We look at a future version of our life and imagine it's so different than how we are living today. But still, we wake up the next day and execute on all the ways we were operating the day before. We do all the same things. How do you think you will ever get there? How do we ever get to a different place doing the same things? What is it going to take for you to wake up to that life you imagine? It's going to take a different you today. The biggest roadblock, the greatest resistance to the road ahead is the road behind that you refuse to let go of. And I mean this in some really practical ways that I'm seeing come up in me as real resistance. The first of which is your thinking. I heard a guest on Lewis House podcast say, manage your remembering. He says we are too indiscriminate with what we dwell on. We have the option. We can dwell on all of our failures, all the things we did wrong, all the ways we are not enough, or we can dwell on the places we succeeded, the wins we had, the places we surprised ourselves and got to witness the best parts of ourselves come out. You really have a choice. You get to dwell on whatever you want to dwell on. And the problem is, many of us don't think we have this choice because most of our thoughts, most of what we dwell on is on autopilot and in repeating patterns. And this is where I found where my greatest limitations lie in trying to build this new life. I'm so used to having thoughts of low self-worth that when trying to build towards a life that requires me to expand past my current beliefs, the first wall I hit is constructed by my own patterned thinking, my own tendency to dwell in the negative. It's taking active effort, active catching myself when I go into this default mode, in redirecting, recalling actual things that counteract the tendency to belittle myself, consciously bringing up contrasting thoughts of worth when the low worth ones come up so naturally and automatically from years of habitually dwelling this way. I have similar issues with thoughts of anger. I can be peaceful in the shower and out of nowhere will find a reason to replay a scenario and add extra scenes to an imagined scenario that lead towards provoking more of my anger in a way to prepare myself for something that will probably never happen, or just to put myself back into the emotional home I am most familiar and comfortable with. Too much peace, and my body is like, this is not where you live. Let me give you some chaos so you feel like you're more where you belong. This is the thing that got me to think about this even more. What you dwell on becomes your dwelling. Literally, your home, your emotional, and quite literally, the physical home and physical presence you create. The life that you then live. Any life I'm looking to create cannot be incompatible with the day-to-day, moment-to-moment thoughts that I have. If I want to wake up to any reality different from today, everything has to work in service to that. Actions, thoughts, beliefs. If you do not manage those very things, then they will be the first wall you hit on the way to that new life. If you want to dwell in a new home, if you want a new dwelling, a new place to dwell in, you gotta control what you dwell on. I love you, family. Stay true always. I see you on the next show.